This is Aaron, and I will share a little bit about thought process and a little bit about the guidelines that we think about when trying to build marketing campaigns. And just a little bit of background. This is a very short example of the lists we come up with, or kind of a thought process around the general list building. This doesn't have to be very in depth, but it should give you some insight into what characteristics we're trying to search for. We're trying to look at when building a list, when reaching out to someone. We want to know a few things. This is a list using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So we're looking for CPAs who have recently left a company. I say recently, within 5 years. They've left a company that was larger and they've started their own, or they became a partner at a smaller firm. And so we're not going to do that sort of search within LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Oftentimes we have issue with LinkedIn Sales Navigator not understanding those kind of parameters for recently left the company or recently left a larger company. We can put in a bunch of past companies, but the problem is there could be certain things these advisors may have done to describe or to title that company that will remove this from even working. Here is the list that we scraped from LinkedIn. We put it exactly as it was into this table. And this is Clay, if you're not familiar, does an excellent job with whatever you really want it to do. You just got to give it. It's a really nice tool. So give it, point in direction, and allow it to really work its magic. So it's an apropos name. The process that we went around, that we were really going for, was trying to find if someone started their own company from a larger company, right? Prior to doing that, there are a few things that were necessary. Obviously, finding if there was an email or a phone number that was on the website. So had AI go ahead and scrape their website to determine that. In the circumstances we did find either a phone number or an email address, we went in and tried to understand what is the background. So what is the owner's work history? What is the person's background so that we can have a formidable and persuasive way of reaching out to them? A compelling reason for them to say, okay, I'm ready for the next step. And with every message we send, we're trying to sell the next part of the sentence or the next line. And we try to be as compelling as possible in the circumstances when circumstances allow. In using the tools we have at our disposal, like AI, like Clay, and like every other software that we do, we're really able to understand what's driving someone, or certain reasons that can drive someone to follow forward. So just a few key points to think about when you're reaching out to your prospects, or you're trying to build a campaign, a message market fit, and you're a financial advisor. A few good places to start. Where did someone begin their career? Are there certain connections you have that you can connect with and have a sentence or a sentence and a half? And I say a half as in like a 3-word sentence that's a call to action. And the first sentence is really a reason to continue and take that next step. So let's give you an example. Let's say this guy, Jim, right here, spent his time at the beginning of his career as a Toastmaster. And I'm a Toastmaster. What I would say to Jim is like, Jim, I noticed that you're a Toastmaster in this area or in Chicago. Figured it's worth your while to share some of the things that I've learned and I've applied in my journey from Toastmasters. Open to connecting. Or if I'm trying to sell him financial services, like, hey, Jim, I'm a fellow Toastmaster, figure it might be worth a conversation to go over some of the things that have helped myself with my financial life, and that may be worthwhile considering you're a proficient speaker that you may be able to apply. Obviously, we're not going to know if Jim is in the market for financial advice based on that one sentence, but that would be a very good, or it will be I'll say a medium level reason for him to take that next step or potentially enter into a conversation with me or to get onto my calendar somehow. And the point is not to sound like every other advisor. The point is to sound unique. The point is to be memorable and to have someone know, like, and trust you in a short amount of time. And that's really what our process is doing. So think about this as the second half after we've qualified. What does qualification mean? Circumstances that drive someone to needing your service. It's intent. What is the intent of these people? And that can be found through a variety of ways, which I'll share in a different video. But this is really just about how you're finding that message, how you're crafting that message, and some of the processes that we've done that have been successful. This is an example for an advisor who's looking to target CPAs. And if you want this list, too bad, we've already given it away to an advisor. So these people have probably already gotten on the calendar of that advisor.